the wrong button. A little bit of a blonde moment there.
Hey, so how are you doing?
Yeah, good. It's Saturday, the sun's out, so not complaining.
No, well, we've got rain here today, which is weird. Like, I don't even know. Like, Calgary used to be like a city that was known for winter, but like lately, like since probably 2015, we've been having like the Okanagan weather. It's crazy.
Mother Nature's crazy. It's
It
all
is. It
it's
is.
all wonky all around the world.
It really
Yeah,
is.
good to see you. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
you too. Thank you for coming on. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of keep it super easy. Brad, I know just a little bit about your story, and like I've always admired you from afar. I mean, we are family, just all disclosure so people know. You are married to my cousin, so we are, I guess we're cousins, not blood though.
Yeah,
Ish.
yeah.
What would we call each other? Cousins-in-law?
I would think so. I would think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's go with that.
let's
It's
go with
easier.
that. All right. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, like I was just saying, I just wanted to kind of get to know you a little bit, and we uh we were saying before, just kind of starting at your birth story, like where are you from, who are you, all that
Yeah,
fun stuff.
sure. Okay, gosh. I was born in 1984 in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Ooh, me too. I was
Uh,
born just outside Johannesburg, actually, in Vereeniging.
oh, yeah. Okay. Close. I was born in the South. So
Okay, are
but
you Afrikaans?
you know what? I'm not. We're an English family. I'm Scottish descent, but
Oh,
I
okay,
mean, growing up in South Africa, obviously Afrikaans is our second language.
right.
I'm just probably the most English sounding South African. I can dit al praat, but
You got
I don't have that Afrikaans twang.
no, you don't. You speak like proper, like as if you were from Durban.
Yeah. Yeah, but I understand it. I mean, obviously growing up in South Africa, I mean, I've moved around a lot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, primary schools every other term or year. I mean, it was crazy. I think I've counted to date. I've moved home. This move to Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah.
It's move number 36
What?
I've done.
That is crazy. So that you've actually probably beat me. Like I've lived in South Africa, Germany, the UK, and then Canada, and then South Africa. Kind of did it twice,
Yeah,
but yeah, 36 times.
yeah, just jumped around. I mean, my dad
Were
was
you?
a single father in the beginning, in the early years of my life. So
Oh,
traveled for business and all of that. And then later in my years, which we'll talk about when I got involved with dancing, I traveled with the dance.
great.
So all over. I mean, I'm a professional packer. So,
So you
you
know
know,
what you're doing?
yeah, if all else fails in Canada, I'll start like a professional packing service for people.
Online fudge packing. Okay, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Um, so I didn't know that your dad was a single dad. So where's your dad's
Yeah.
mom?
So my dad and my mum split up when I was quite young,
Hmm.
like really, really young. Must have been about 8 months. 8 months or a little bit up. I never really had any interaction with my mum, but my dad didn't ever hold anything back. I mean, he even gave me like the wedding photos and all of that.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, just the destiny was, yeah, my mum. I don't know if she was ready or wanting to to have it, but my
Yeah.
father was a strong guy. I mean, he gave me everything. I never felt like I was losing out or I missed out. I mean, I was
Yeah.
really young. I mean,
Yeah. So you
can
wouldn't
you really
even have
miss something
remembered.
that you didn't really have?
Fair enough. Yeah.
But my sister, I've got a sister that's 6 years older than me, and so
Okay.
she was six. I mean,
So it was
when
different.
so she knew our mother and she
Oh,
she
so
knew the
so your mom
family.
left like both already. So she was probably some other shit going on, hey?
Yeah. So Karen, I think, yeah. So she knew everything. I was just like, but anyway. So then Karen got me. So um, when normal kids are having Barbie and Ken, like my sister got Brad, and Brad poos and shits and sorry,
That's
pees
okay.
everywhere.
We can do
So,
that. That's
yeah. So
fair.
my sister, she became like a bit of a motherly role, and she was very protective of me because I was always a
Yeah.
sensitive child.
The sensitive one, air quotes.
And yeah, I
So
mean, so she took on like the stronger role and stuff like that. And so yeah, so my mother moved to Los Angeles, or she came to the
oh,
States
crazy.
to find a career. Um,
Wild.
my mom got sick later on in life, and yeah, she ended up passing
Oh,
away.
shame. So your real mom, hey?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
which,
sorry to
you
hear
know
that.
what, when I was trying
Not that
to
you
like,
know her,
I
but
kind of found out the most bizarre way like my mother had died because I was like doing TikToks and I was going all crazy on the internet. And then
so
someone,
you only found out recently?
yeah, well,
Because I mean, TikTok can't be around that long, can it?
it
I mean,
was
how long?
Mother's Day 2020. It was just after lockdown. So it
Oh,
was in 20, must have been 2020 or 2021.
right.
Yeah, and then my mother got sick and she had a carer and somebody that was dealing with all her legal and lawyer stuff. And
Okay.
yeah, she she was cleaning out my mom's stuff because my mom had passed and she found the will and then she saw my name on the wall and she wanted to like look up the Charmaine's children.
Yeah.
Her name was Charmaine. And then yeah, so she like found me and she like saw a whole bunch of videos and she sent me a message on Facebook out of the blue. She goes, "Hi,
Hmm.
you don't know me," gave me the story.
Yeah.
And she goes, "It was so great just to see Charmaine again for those 30 seconds that you create your videos with." And
Oh,
she says, "I see a lot of your mother in you, like the energy
your
and the creativity."
talent.
But I mean, obviously, like I don't know. But I was like, well,
Yeah.
okay,
What?
well, I'm glad I could give that to her. I mean,
Okay.
I'm very open.
Yeah. So
I
what
have
was
no
your mom
hard
doing in the
feelings.
States? What was she like? Did you find out who she was?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I think she was a creative individual. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
something,
Which makes sense.
something says to me, like acting or something, but
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
don't
saying.
know.
Like, why LA? Like, did she have the whole like Charlize Theron sort of,
Yeah,
go
you
to
never
LA,
know.
right?
I mean, maybe that's where I get it from.
Right?
I mean,
Well,
I told people, and I
wouldn't
remember in
surprise me.
primary school, I've got such an active imagination.
Yeah.
I would tell my fellow peers that Madonna's my mother, and she like dropped me off in South Africa because she couldn't have a child right now. But she's gonna come fetch me when she's 18.
She didn't say it was like Oprah Winfrey or something where they couldn't believe you.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know the whole story. I mean, I could probably ask my sister and find out a
Oh,
little
well, I
more.
mean,
But
it's up to you. I mean, that's your story, right? Like if you are ready for it, if you're not, whatever.
she did message me once as well on Facebook.
Oh,
Crazy
mm,
story.
yikes.
Crazy story. But I thought she, okay, the crazy story. So my older sister
Okay.
did tell me that my mother had passed, just to like,
To kind of
because
make sure, yeah, I understand that. I know where that comes from. Yeah.
but
Okay.
she wasn't
Right.
passed. But
No.
she just
So that you
wanted to,
get this like random text all of a sudden on Facebook reaching out this like
yeah,
lady that you're like, no, no, my mom's doesn't live anymore.
yeah. It was so crazy.
Uh,
And it's like, I've watched you all these years and you're grown up into such a strapping young gentleman. I'm like, girl, I don't know who you're talking to, but my mom is dead. And then she
wow.
wasn't dead. But it was just
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, it's, it's a, I don't know, it's a very, very strange situation, but you know what,
Hmm.
I didn't, I didn't push it away.
No.
It's always been there.
Kind of
But
a
if
part
I
of your
ever wanted
life.
to have conversations with my sister and stuff, I could ask my dad. But no,
Yeah.
I was so busy with my own life and growing up, and my father was doing so much. So, but I never felt like I did not have a mother.
Okay.
Um, I had so many school friends, and then my father would drop me off, and I'd have slumber parties, and my my dad played soccer, and it was like, and then I went to work with my father at the age of like 2. He would take me there to the office. He would just
Okay.
hand me over to the receptionist, and like Brad likes fireballs and
Oh,
chocolates, and
shame. So like
yeah.
you
So
were always taken care of no matter what.
I had lots of women in my life.
Yeah.
The way to Gavin was through me, but yeah. Then my dad remarried when I was 14.
Okay.
Wonderful woman by the name
Awesome.
Celeste, and then
You still
I got
talk to her, right? Like I've seen pictures recently before you moved to Canada. Weren't you at home with them?
yeah. So
Yeah.
I did move home shortly, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean I've got
Yeah.
a half sister, half brother, but I mean I call them my
Okay.
brother and sister.
Yeah. And it's family,
Yeah,
right?
so no,
A
I've got the
blended
family.
family. Yeah.
And then marrying Olaf,
Amazing.
and then I get that whole
You
the
get
whole
all of us.
Dombrowski
Yeah. The
Rosito.
whole Dombrowski, like boisterous and all the German shrank chicks. Everybody's, yeah, you're super loved and welcomed.
Yeah, so
Um,
I mean,
so were
I've
you
never.
always kind of like your dad was kind of your main influence? Um, like, did you always know that you were gay?
I think he did.
Big
I
question. Oh,
didn't.
okay. No.
I didn't.
Because I mean, being in Johannesburg, I mean, I don't see it being a very gay friendly time back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, so it is like my dad and I, we don't speak about it like openly, and like we don't
Still?
hide it. But I think he always knew because he's like,
Okay.
son, it's like play with the boys. And I was like,
Right.
yeah,
Go, yeah, go play rugby.
Yeah, exactly. My
Yeah.
dad's like, when you go to high school, you play rugby. And I was like, yes, dad. And I
Okay.
tried so hard. I mean, my
Oh,
first
shame.
rugby practice, I was crying in the bathroom.
I don't want
But
to do this.
I think he
Like,
always knew. He always knew that I was like the sensitive child and softer. But me personally, I don't know what it was, but even even in grade 1,
mhm.
like like people called me gay, and
So
they
you
got
knew already, hey, like you already had sort of like a
no,
certain, you
no,
were
I
something
didn't.
different. You
I
didn't, hey?
didn't. Like
Oh,
I would run the 100-meter sprints on my twinkle toes. So they called me Twinkle Toes Twaddle. People would call me gay, but like I didn't understand. I didn't really know. But I mean, and
at
like
that
throughout
point,
school, I had
yeah.
my band of girls that always protected me. Like when the boys came up to me, they would like kick them in the shins. And then my sister, because she also
Mm,
picked up me, she used to
like,
knuckle punch them when the boys used to pick on me at school. But I never really understood the facts about like people call me gay, but I was
no.
like I don't know. It's like telling
So
me
what
like
about,
I had darker skin. Like I'm like, can you see that I'm light? Like
weird.
I didn't even process it.
So when you were going through your puberty and like, you know, the time when you start looking at the other sex, like, were you dating girls?
Yeah, I had
Okay.
lots of girlfriends.
Oh, so did I actually. It was the same.
But I was romantic. I mean, I wrote them poems and everything. But
Cute.
you know, when I got involved in the later years of high school and
Hmm.
being exposed um to the educational side
Right.
of sexuality, then I
Like
started
edge.
thinking, and then obviously I got involved in dance, and that didn't change anything. But
No.
um, I left and I went to the UK, and you know, no one knew me there, so I
Hmm.
kind of like dropped my guards and dropped my
Experiment a
pants.
little bit. Drop your pants. Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, and then I got comfortable with who I was, and when I came back, I was like, okay, well, I'm I'm gay.
So
Like, let
then
me
your
tell
first
everyone.
experience then was when you were in the UK with another guy.
Maybe just before I left for the UK.
Okay. Okay.
But it's when I went to the UK, I kind of like, wow, like, what is this? So then I kind of
Yeah.
dabbled, and then I
Was that
got
because
comfortable.
you were thinking because you weren't like excited about girls? Like, was that kind of like a thing?
No, it's just, you know, I think it was the stress of the pressure of
Right.
like, am I gay? Like, if I
Being in a
tell everybody,
masculine like
yeah,
surroundings and stuff.
yeah, and like, and once you say like I'm gay, like, then it's like you're labeled. I'm like, what if
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not?
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
like I've got a really close relationship with my father and with
Yeah.
people. I didn't want to I didn't want to say it. And
No.
then, yeah, I went to London and I was like, nobody knew me. I was like,
Give it a go.
it was
I'll
like a
try it.
party. It was a big
Yeah.
party. And
So why
then,
did you go to London? What were you doing there?
just to go work and, you know,
Okay, like South
go
Africans
abroad
do, right?
overseas,
The 1 year
dance
work.
and,
Okay.
yeah, dance and
Yeah.
just explore and like learn life out of South Africa.
Yeah.
Because it, like my father's always saying, like the opportunities to go overseas. But yeah, so got comfortable with my sexuality, came back, I decided like to tell everyone I'm gay, and they're like, oh,
Okay. Well,
you've
really?
always
Like,
been gay.
duh. Like, what? This isn't
I'm
like
like, I
brand new
didn't see it.
news.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
So it wasn't. It was quite a easy coming out. I've spoken to my father, and we chatted. He's super accepting of everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've been very blessed in that sense because
Is your
like,
dad still around?
yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay.
I just spoke to
Well,
him this morning.
that's huge. I know I've you know my family and stuff and you know my dad. I mean my coming out story is a little different. It isn't as friendly as that, unfortunately. So it's always important to have that family support, hey?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
my friends were big supports. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, so, like, there's a bit, like, I'm not saying everything was easy growing up, like, financially.
No,
Like, we went through our turmoils, but I think that just brought us closer together.
yeah.
Um, and since moving to Canada, like, I speak to my dad maybe twice or three times a week for
Okay,
like
cool.
45 hour and a half
Oh, that's
minute phone
awesome.
calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
it wasn't a hard process, but it took me so long to figure out, which was
Hmm.
quite
That's
weird. But
well, and you know the thing is too is being comfortable with it. Like you said, like if you say you're gay and you say it out loud, well, now you are. And what if you're not? And back
yeah,
then, it wasn't like you could be both. You couldn't be bisexual, right? Or like you could be asexual, or like it was always one of those things. Once you're gay, you got the gay card. Like that's it,
yeah,
right?
labeled,
Labeled
labeled.
like, oh, you're gay. And then so you went to the UK, came back to South Africa. Did you go back to Johannesburg, or where did you go from there?
Yeah, I was in Johannesburg, stayed some time there. Then I ended up moving to Durban.
Oh,
Um, because that's where my father grew up, and I wanted to go experience life that side.
Okay.
I was still dancing at the time, and working in between. Um,
Like
in
dancing,
Durban.
were you doing it like professionally or semi-professionally, or were you
Yeah,
training
yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah?
So I started in high school. Quite a late started to start dancing. I mean, I always grew up having two left feet, but for some reason, I just
Really?
picked it up. And there was a girl by the name of Kira.
Oh.
And yeah, I said to my dad, like, I want to start dance, go to dance class. My dad's like, dancing not going to
You're
get you
not,
anywhere.
you can barely walk straight. You're not.
Yeah, like play rugby. So and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
but then I was like, that's a girl, and I think they kind of got excited. But yeah, and
Mm.
then I went to class, and I figured out that I could pick up choreography,
Mhm.
um, and the passion started. And then I'd always be in the bedroom dancing. I'd put the lights on so I could see myself in the window.
Yeah.
And then they were like, listen, we've got this squad. Why don't you come to this class and see if you can perform? And then, yeah, we can go out and then dance and get paid for it, which I did. Did a whole bunch of
Oh,
stuff for like the inauguration of the rugby team, for
no
Nelson
way.
Mandela, for like KTV. And there was a
What?
girl by the name of Alicia that was in the dance class. And yeah, her and I paired up and then we became dance partners. And for
Okay.
years thereafter high school, we danced for like Afrikaans singers and
Oh.
we danced for hypnotists and illusionists, and we did like rebranding of petrol stations. We would
Oh.
go dance while people are filling their cars with gas. So I've
Well,
done a
you
whole
you
bunch
have
of
to,
stuff.
yeah, get experience.
Yeah, whatever paid the bills,
Right. Yeah, I hear that.
But ballroom, ballet, basics from Alicia, hip hop, funk,
Yeah.
stuff like
No,
that.
that's
And
how I
then
met you. I knew that you were very artsy and you were really good at dance. That's when I first was introduced to you, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, because Olaf's
yeah,
really good at his craft and his art and what he does, right? And I was like, obviously, someone has to match Olaf, and
yeah,
Olaf was always very much, a lone ranger and always kind of focused on what he was doing. I was like, when you came on, and I was like, Olaf. Well, if you for the listeners, this Olaf is his husband
yeah.
now, but yeah. So then you did you go to Cape Town from there, or
Yeah, so I went from Durban back to Johannesburg. I got Durban out of the system because my dad's a Shark supporter as well. So I
oh
was like,
no.
yeah.
Don't know.
So then I got some work, funny enough, even though I did not become the rugby player, I did a talent show and my computer science teacher came to me. He's like, listen, here's my girlfriend. She saw you dancing. She's quite interested. Just give her a call. And then I did. And then she ended up being the head cheerleader of the Lions rugby team.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. So
So
I
for
said,
people who don't know, what city is Lions?
it's Johannesburg,
It's Johannesburg.
Gauteng,
Okay.
yeah. So then I was like, Father, come sit here. Now, see, the universe is really incredible. I might not have been the rugby player, but I'm now going to be choreographing and rehearsing these cheerleaders, and they're going to be giving me free rugby tickets. And I
Oh,
was like,
I love that. So he was getting it in no matter what this way.
yeah. So
Huge.
then after that, I got married.
Oh, to a girl?
No,
Oh,
I was
oh,
22. This is a bit of
wow.
a scandalous
Oh,
story.
look, you could say whatever you want to say at the end of it. Honestly, we
Yeah.
can always edit some stuff out if you're not feeling comfortable
No, no,
afterwards.
no. I mean, I'm an open book.
Okay. All right.
So
Oh, good.
I wanted to go back to the UK and I'd use my
Right.
working holiday visa and then I was like, done. I'm
Yep.
done. So I was working in a restaurant and I met this guy and started off like this relationship and we were like quite easygoing. And then
Mhm.
I said, I would love to go back to the UK. And he's like, well, I've got ancestral.
Ooh,
We should
scandalous.
we should get married. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, we should.
4 months later, I did a cartwheel down. We went to court, and I think I did a cartwheel, like entering the building. I was so excited. And yeah, so we got married with the plans that we were going to go to the UK and da 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 da, and the whole
Yeah.
big situation. But yeah, then he ended up getting a job in Cape Town,
Okay.
and then I was like, "Are you crazy? Like UK's
Like
there, Cape
wrong
Town's
way.
there."
We're going south. We're supposed to be going north.
Yeah. So then we ended up moving to Cape Town, and then 8 months later, I realized, like, what have I done? I've
Yeah,
married a complete stranger.
for
This was
sure.
the wrong decision. Even though we had good intents to go to the UK, marrying for the visa, not really
Good
a good
intense.
story. So I
Yeah.
ended up getting divorced. I was 22. It was messy. We didn't end on good terms. I think this would be another story for another podcast. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was horrid. And then I was working three jobs to pay off in a divorce.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I got divorced by myself. This guy just disappeared. Furniture was gone. I was mad. So I had to
Wow.
get divorced Blackcourt, and
That sounds
yeah, and I was
awesome.
working 3 jobs, and then that's when I met Olaf because
Oh, really? Okay.
I would go blow off some steam. I was
Yeah, go
running,
party.
yeah, and just have a drink, and then yeah,
Yeah.
I met Olaf was actually dancing next to me, and yeah, it's quite a wild story, but yeah, and then now that was so long. Olaf and I we're going on 13 years now.
13 years, eh? So you guys are married now. I know you guys got married in what looked like, well, I don't know exactly where that was.
20, 2021
Where did you guys get married?
in Cape Town.
In Cape Town? And where did I know that the engagement was super romantic and exotic. What was
Yeah, it
that
was out.
like?
Yeah, that was. I mean, well, Olaf said to me on date number 3, he's like, "I'm never gonna get married. Like, I don't want to get married." So I
Because
was like,
he'd been through some stuff himself, right? And like he'd come from like some heartache and some things happened to him, right?
"Yeah," and he was in a. I mean, Olaf is older than me, so
Yeah.
Olaf was just set in these ways, and he's
Mhm.
like, you know what, he's not one for marriage. So I mean, I was just coming out of a very sloppy, messy hurricane of
Yeah.
fuckery,
Of course.
and
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm never gonna get married. I'm like, well, don't worry, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm not getting married right now anyways. Like I just as far
So
as it is as possible, looking for a good time.
yeah, I mean, and we just got on like a house on fire, and like yeah, when he proposed, we were already 8 years into the marriage, and
Yeah.
I wasn't even suspecting it. We were in the Southern Kalahari at a
Oh,
safari lodge
stunning.
called Swalu. It
Ooh,
was in July. It was freezing cold. I love such an emotional guy.
fancy.
He couldn't even get the proposal done properly.
Oh,
He was just blowing snot bubbles out the
that's
nose, and then
beautiful.
yeah, I was
It
like, this
is.
guy's got
Oh,
hypothermia. I'm
what
like,
is going on here? Like, where am I?
yeah.
Is this
So
the end? Like,
it
are you
was
gonna
a,
tell me that we're gonna like split up, or are you like, what is going on? Like,
it was mad. It was mad, but it was
right,
really, really sweet, and
right.
yeah, no, it was very special. So completely out of the blue. And
Yeah.
yeah, then that was 2018, and then yeah, we got married 20. Was it 21, 22? Yeah,
Okay.
22.
22.
This year will be 2 years.
So then
I
you
mean, there was
guys
no
got,
big
sorry, I
there
cut
was
you
no
off.
big rush to get married, but just also because we were moving, because we sold the hotel, we had a hotel. Well,
Yeah.
in the story, and because Olaf came to Canada to start up, and then I needed for the paperwork. So
Yeah.
we did the wedding in 2022, a beautiful ceremony. And the the lady who married us, instead of marrying us in court, she said,
Yeah.
I can do it in the garden. And then all we
Oh,
do is just do the 2 witnesses. So I said, that's perfect because we didn't have a full wedding ceremony because we just fresh out of COVID.
yeah.
People couldn't travel. So
No,
we're
it
still
was a little
going to
different.
have a bowel renewal ceremony.
Oh,
We're
that'd
going to
be
go back
good.
to South Africa and we're going to have the big thing then with all the
Oh,
family.
beautiful. Well, let
So
us
we
know.
had,
We would, I'm inviting myself.
yeah, you're invited. Yeah, so we had a beautiful ceremony in a beautiful house in Camps Bay
Yeah.
by a beautiful woman who gave the most
Gorgeous.
beautiful speech. She's an author as well, so she wrote the most beautiful words for us to celebrate. So
In a lot of
yeah,
ways, that is a lot more intimate and a lot more romantic. I mean, that type of thing, for example, like we had also a smaller one, Aaron and I, and we could only have 54 or 60 people, plus then like the DJ and then the person who made the cake and, like all that. So we had a really small, intimate one too, and I wouldn't change that.
yeah,
Like a big, over the top wedding is a little hard because you don't actually have the time to spend with everybody and,
yeah,
connect and like actually have that moment of like where you can say, "Oh, I remember that," or like talk about the good times.
yeah. No, and thanks
Yeah.
also for inviting us, even though we couldn't make it. I
Oh
mean,
no, that was you know what? That was I mean, it was also again, I mean, we are 16,000 kilometers away. I mean, that was kind of
yeah.
no sweat, no sweat. What I wanted to actually ask you too is that when you were dancing and everything else, did you know that there was things kind of going on, or like when we're kind of moving into what you're dealing with right now? Were there any signs ever?
No,
No.
no, nothing. I mean, I was so super fit, and I mean, I've just done some MRIs and we found that
Yeah.
I've got some floating bones happening and they're like injuries. I'm like, obviously I'm a dancer, we have lots of
Yeah.
injuries.
Right.
But it's nothing. I was super fit. I mean, I did have weak ankles and things like that, but
Okay.
no signs of the struggles and things like that.
No, because like when Aaron and I, we came to come visit you and Olaf in Gordons Bay at your boutique hotel in I think 2020, just before the whole COVID lockdowns happened. We had just left. And I know that you guys were like full bore and like you guys were working and you were Like I had no idea you were still fit and you were running on the beaches and doing all these like challenges with your group of sport guys and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, you know, we hear that there was something and you never really like made it really public right away. And I was like, okay, well, what is it? And I spoke to Olaf, your husband, and I was like, what's going on with Bradley? Like, is everything okay? Like, you know, we had no idea. And then he kind of
Yeah.
skimmed over it. But yeah. So what's been going on, man?
Yeah. Well, like I think what happened, so we with the doctor, so I've been diagnosed with chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy.
Mm.
CIDP is what the acronym, but yeah, we the doctors don't know what causes it, so there's no cure for it. It's just a neurological autoimmune disease where my bloods are just fighting my body and have destroyed all the fatty tissue around my nerves.
Wow.
It's called the myelin sheath, and it's killed my nerves. So dead in the hands, and I'm dead in the toe, shins, ankle, calves, up to the knee. So because it's
Oh,
polyneuropathy, what happens on the left happens on the right,
okay.
whichever way, if anyone
Yeah.
wants.
Yeah. Left,
So
right.
yeah, I mean, I I did have neuropathy in the fingers when it first started. So I think what happened after lockdown, when we got confined to our houses, like we really stopped dead in the tracks.
Yeah.
And like for those that don't know me, like I'm a hyperactive individual. I was working at the hotel, running 50 to 60,000 steps a day. I was
Mm-hmm.
gymming 3 times a week. I was
Yeah.
dancing twice a week. I was doing so much.
Like,
I was constantly on the go, go, go. And even when I would run around the hotel and eat my bowl of cereal,
yeah.
I'm like eating, and I'm like put the bowl down and I run this way. And then Olaf's like, just stop. Your food's not going to go anywhere. But I was always like that. I was over the show. And then lockdown happened. And then I was
It was,
forced to
you were
stop.
forced to stop. Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously, then my body's like now going, okay. And neuropathy started in the hands.
Yeah. So that was
Um,
just like tingling and stuff, like sort of
tingling and
numbness.
numbness and then
Yeah.
pain. And
Okay.
it was so sore. So figuring out now that I've got stuff happening here, but back then I didn't. And my hands were just so sore. And then even
Yeah.
your auntie Natasha, she always used to see to my, like, Bradley, are you okay? I would sit and rub my hands like an old lady,
Oh, shame.
like just sitting at the table. And it was just so sore. And then the doctors were like, okay, neuropathy, neuropathy. So then I went on to like nerve medication, just to help with the pain.
Right.
And then it just went all the way up my arm, and then eventually it would like ease up a bit, but nerves
Scary.
just they got to regenerate. So then I just dealt with that for a good couple of months. Then we were in the process of selling the hotel and
Yeah.
moving, and then it
So
started in
this
my
was like around 2022, hey? 2020?
2021.
Yeah, 21. Yeah.
21. Yeah. So then so I moved up. We left Cape Town October 2021, and I moved to Johannesburg. Then Olaf moved to Canada,
Okay. Yes.
Vancouver.
Right.
So then at that phase, it started in the feet, and then like the feet started paining and tingling, and the doctor's like, okay, let's just up the dose of the nerve medication. So
What's
I did
going through
that.
your mind at this time? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm just like, well, I'm like, this is so irritating. I mean, like, I'm a dancer, I'm a runner, I
Yeah.
just want to be active. I was doing step class, and my movements started becoming a bit limited
Okay.
because
Like
of the
almost
pain.
clumsy, hey? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And then I lost 10 kilos, 20,
So
December
it's about
22.
20 pounds roughly-ish. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
December
And this is
2021.
from you because you already are lean and already are an athlete. So 20 pounds is a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
I just see we got 10 minutes and I'm gonna reopen it again. I'll edit that
okay,
through.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I dropped 10 kilos. Oh no, 10 kilos is 5 pounds, isn't it?
Oh, is it half?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Are you sure? Let's Google that. Okay, carry on. I'll Google it.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
then I lost an extreme amount of weight within 1 month. Which is quite weird. And then
22
four,
pounds.
14 days later, my hair started falling out.
Wow.
So I don't know if the viewers are they listening or they're watching us.
Both.
Okay, so well, this is a hair piece that I've got on because
Looks
I've lost it.
really, really good.
I've
It
lost all
really
my hair.
does. Yeah.
But yeah, even my eyebrows are gone. The hair fell
Yeah.
off everywhere, and then yeah, and then
So why did they say that was gonna happen? Like, how does that have to do with anything with nerves?
doctors don't know that. It's just that the body's under extreme stress.
Mm.
So, yeah, that was that. So then January I could run still 5 kilometers or
Okay.
is that four
So
miles?
you were still having movements and
Yeah. And
yeah.
then by
Okay.
June was the first time that I couldn't actually complete a full 5 kilometers run. And then I was sort of walking. And then I moved here in August 22.
Right.
And then I could still walk, but with pain. September walking was a struggle, and then October I was crippled, and then that's when they just like, okay, let's just get this guy into hospital because we don't know what's happening. I literally couldn't get out of bed. Olaf had
Like
to carry me to the bathroom.
what is
Um,
going on in your head? Like what are you thinking is happening? Like are you thinking
yeah,
this is like what the actual, excuse my language, actual
yeah,
fuck is going on?
yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was a huge debate, like what's going on, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, is he vaccine injured?
oh
Because
yeah,
what's happening? But
right.
but then put myself we my family doctor rolled put me into hospital. I was there for 2 weeks. I racked up a beautiful $51,000. I just moved to Vancouver. I wasn't on MSP. I was just like, anyways,
Oh
like don't
wow.
stress. Here's drugs. Just feel
You know what?
better.
Money can always be made. Yeah.
Yeah. So then it was only by day 8 they kind of figured out chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. But we went way back into my doctor's history because they ask, is it genetic? Is it from the family? No one
Yeah.
in my family's got this. We is it or is it something I'm taking? We was it a neurological disease? We drew fluids from the brain. We did spinal taps. We took fluid from the
Wow.
spines. Doctors were like finished. I mean, if I was on Grey's Anatomy, I would have featured in like 4
That
episodes.
is amazing. But like
But
the whole time, like you're not even really saying like how, like
how
would you were you doing? Like how mentally are you and all of
I
that? Like
was
are you
just
feeling like,
coping,
yeah, dude.
coping. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I mean, I've never been halted in my life.
And
I've
like you're in
always,
Canada, like the only other person that really is, as close to you is Olaf. He's
yeah,
busy working, you're doing your thing. Like that is crazy.
yeah. I
Wow.
mean, I was just so finished. And then I
Yeah.
was like, I'm in a new country. So I kind of did like, think like, what the hell is happening now?
Right.
So like, I'm like, how am I going to do this? And then I was worrying, but like the doctors they were very, very calming, and they said, "Don't worry, Brad, we're gonna figure this out." So, but I was quite shocked. I mean, I didn't know how to do this, and then yeah, I got tripled. I was in a
Yeah.
wheelchair. I
Oh my
couldn't,
gosh.
I couldn't do anything. I had to learn to walk and stand again, and
Brad, how
so
old are
I'm
you now?
dead. I'm dead I am 39.
Wow. So you're young. Like this is
Yeah,
from
dead in
a
the hands, dead in the feet. Can't feel anything. Like I had to learn to stabilize, and thank goodness for the years of dancing, I've got like muscle
Mhm.
memory, so I can I can find balance easily. But I mean, for weeks, I mean, like I'd be standing in public, if a car just went past, I would like lose my balance.
Oh,
It knocked me out. This has halted me, and then there was months when I couldn't open doors, I couldn't cut my food, I couldn't put on shoes. Like
holy.
Olaf had to do everything for me. So um,
Coming from
it just
somebody who's so like independent and on your feet and go, 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 go. Like that's like a 360.
yeah, I mean, but
How long were you in a wheelchair for?
in and out for like 2 months,
Wow, that's a
and
long
then I
time.
was in a walker for a good while afterwards as well. But
Okay.
I work from home from now,
Mhm.
so I was always here. So
That's at least lucky.
I just didn't go out. I just didn't have to need the wheelchair, and like I didn't want to be out. So yeah, so with my new, like you said, I fell off the like you didn't know anything about this. Like
I don't.
once I halted with everything, I just pulled myself off social media. I just went silent and quiet because I don't know what was going on, and I was just dealing this with Olaf and by myself and with the support of the family. It's only after the last year when I'm like, okay, let me just start reaching and talking about what I've got and just
Yeah.
letting people know because doctors don't know.
No.
So I'm in several research programs. I'm doing so much, but I think that it helps to talk about it, and it helps because there's so many other people out there that are going through this as well.
Oh,
I mean,
there is, hey?
six out of a million people get this. 1 out of 3 end up permanently in a wheelchair,
Oh,
and I'm lucky that I've got a strong mind. I've got a really, really strong, like positive outlook. But I'm lucky that I caught it when I did. I'm lucky I'm in treatments and therapies because there are so many other people out there that have it worse than me.
You're
And
making
it's
me tear up a little bit there. Your spirit is strong. I didn't know
yeah,
you
no,
had.
I've always been that happy guy, but
Yeah, you
I
have.
mean, there I had dark days, like don't like, and people like were like, oh my gosh, Brad, it was so crazy. But
Yeah,
I've got such a good support system with Olaf. I
yeah.
mean,
That's
he's
that's
my rock
amazing.
star.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And then the doctors, I mean, and this is also quite funny, being so fresh into Canada in the
Hmm.
medical system. Like I hear the Canadians complaining about it a lot, but I really benefited from this medical system. If I had
Yeah,
this in South Africa, I would be finished. Like I
yeah,
probably would have rolled my wheelchair off a cliff.
yeah. They don't have the resources, and like if you do, you have to have extremely deep
Yeah.
pockets, right? It's
So
all
I mean,
privatized.
and I just think it was like the universe, or my body was holding on because I had
Yeah.
the neuropathy for about a year and a half, 2 years. And
Hmm.
why all of a sudden now when I came
Yeah.
to, but I just think it was that release, or maybe because I was so away
Do
from
you
Ola for so long.
healthcare? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing that I've realized when speaking to Canadians that like so many of them have like lost faith in the medical system.
Yeah.
But you know, I also had to wait a whole bunch of stuff for some was like for MRIs and stuff, but it works. The system worked for me, and there's so many people out there that are like getting the attention and stuff like that. So if it's just one
Mhm.
thing I can do is I just want
Yeah.
to like thank, I could say like thanks to BC Health and all of that. Just I mean, they really helped me.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And you were talking about like how it's important to actually have the conversation, and then you went dark there for a little while off of social media, and then decided, no, like, this is a real journey, and you wanted to start sharing it. And
Of course, of
yeah,
course. I mean, it's important, and that's why I think that's the reason why you've also started the podcast
it
journey.
is.
There's so many people that can benefit
Yeah.
from your stories, from our stories.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, and there's a big need for support
And
and
it
help.
is, and like community, and like actually having real talk with people, and like kind of, taking the filters off and saying, hey, look, life can, we have our Instagram pages where a lot of people just have the highlight reels, and from the outer we all look like we're all put together, but the reality of it is that we all are going through something, and if we can talk about it and have it out there, and kind of be a little raw, at least we know that we're not alone.
100%. And it's one thing I've always believed in. I've always lived my life with this mantra of like energy and togetherness and symbiosis. And the reason why I decided to start speaking out is because like I was so blessed to be given so much help
Yeah.
from the doctors and from it. Like it's my duty. I just want to help people. And like like I was crossing the street the other day, and then the Red Cross people on the streets caught me, and everyone tries to avoid them.
Yeah.
Excuse.
Oh.
And then
Yes.
I ended up signing up. I thought to myself, you know what? The Red Cross was they gave me all the equipment, so I'm like it's good to it's important to give back as well. So
Hmm.
I mean, if that's why I've decided to talk about it and just to give back and help others. And yeah, there's just so much that we can learn from each other.
Yeah. So
If
where
not,
are you now in your journey? So you've come out of the wheelchair. You started to dance again. Recently, you've been doing some like cold plunges. Like,
yeah.
what is actually going on? I mean, you're
Yeah,
looking,
well,
I
I
love
don't know
your
if that's
story. You're
called
doing so
if
good.
that if that's called dancing. What I'm doing, I'm
Well,
moving.
it's movement, and
I am
honestly,
moving. I am moving more freely. I've learned to walk. I've had a bit of a sloppy walk. I still can't like close my hands.
oh, really? Hey? Oh,
So I'm getting stronger.
oh,
Before I couldn't
your
even
left
do
hand
this.
is stronger than your right.
Yeah. So I have to like, I've learned to write with these
Oh,
fingers now.
okay.
I've had to adapt a whole bunch of stuff. So where am I now? I'm still, my body is stronger. My
Hmm.
body is definitely stronger. My body has adapted. I've learned how to tie shoelaces with pinkies and thumbs. Like you do what you can. I can hold cutlery. I can cut my own food. I can do things. I still need help, but I've got in my feet, I've got 5% movement,
Okay.
point and flex, rather than pointing and flexing. Like even my wrists,
Yeah, there's not a
I can't
whole lot.
even
I see it.
I can't do push-ups, but
Uh-huh.
my right leg is like 2%. So I still can't run. My cardio is very limited. I just sit on a bike. Um, there's a lot of things I can't do, but my body has adapted. My body is
Yeah.
strong. I've got a personal trainer
Yeah.
Mondays and Fridays. He specializes in rehabilitation. He works with Parkinson's clients.
Hmm.
So he works with me for stability, mobility, flexibility, and strength. I'm in a nerve rehab program. I'm doing
Okay.
like nerve rehab where I'm doing brain tapping. Because this whole neurological disease is it's run off the nervous system. So we're trying to calm my nervous system down because the body can only regenerate its 302,000 cells if there's space to regenerate. And my nervous system's completely fried and frazzled. So I'm in a lot of breath work classes,
Okay.
meditation, yogas, just to calm down and just to get that stress levels to
Okay.
uh, a less frequency so that my body has space to help regrow and regenerate and all of that. So I'm in that system. I'm doing acupuncture. I'm doing red light therapy.
Mm.
I'm doing cold plunges, which
Yeah.
is like the new fad of,
It's it's great. It's for
yeah,
endorphins and even for just for your mood settling too, hey?
and it's a complete reset of the nervous system.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that, and then for 11 months I was doing IVIG treatments,
Okay.
which is intravenous blood plasmas. So every 4 weeks I'd go into hospital and have the IVs put in, and then I'd have bloods from like 36,000 people put into me.
Wow.
So thank you to everyone that donates blood plasmas and stuff like that.
Yeah, get out there and do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so now I've moved over to a home system where once a week I inject myself with blood
Okay. So what is a what are they what is the achievement on that? They're just saying taking out the old toxic blood and sort of like a blood fusion? Like,
Yeah,
is that what it is?
it's about putting the good blood into the body to combat
Okay.
my bloods, which are the bad bloods.
Right, right.
So yeah, so the I'm feeling good, I'm feeling strong,
Yeah.
but I have gone for testing. The tests haven't come back as positive as we would like it to,
Okay.
but so the bloods do help. It makes me feel good, it keeps me strong, it keeps those energy levels going. Um, but yeah, so like the doctor said, there's no cure. Um, I do have a bit of a muscular skeletal something happening as well concurrently with my neuroautoimmune, but I'm in research programs and we're doing a lot of testings, and yeah, I'm currently on a steroid treatment now.
Oh, good
I'm
times.
1 month in, so I'm going to be on for 6 months. Um, but we're just constantly adapting everything just to see what works, what doesn't work, and how I can get this. I mean, we don't know. It's
No.
a long journey. I mean, nerves take 1 month for an inch of a nerve to repair.
Oh, okay.
And
So
with
it's
the
slow
damage,
snail.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the doctors don't even know because I'm so dead in the feet. Like I feel nothing. Like if I get ingrown toe, I got to go to the nail parlor to get my nails done because
Yeah.
I don't understand. You must see them pull out ingrowns the size of like my
Shame.
ribs, and they're like,
What?
"Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can't feel
You're
nothing.
like, girl, I can't feel it. Keep
Pull it
going.
out." But because
So
I'm
can
so
I ask
dead,
you then? I mean, you've always been, like in your circle of friends and coming from South Africa and where you were in the boutique hotel and and what you do now for work, you're very much in a very high rolling, high society life, right? And you've always been very attractive. You've always been into arts. You've always been like that. That's who you are. How I know that it's got to be hard, man. I know for myself, I like, it's just a matter of not vanity, but we like to be a certain way and be carry ourselves in a certain way. How do you kind of get through that one?
of course, well, it's very true. It's very true. And what happened was the reason why I decided to get a hairpiece
Yeah.
because I went to an art gallery opening and then a picture was taken of me and then I saw it in the press and I
Okay.
was like, oh, I
Oh,
look sick. I look horrid. And like everyone's bad, you look fine. And you're so,
yeah,
but
no.
they're looking at my character because people love my character and then but they
Your
won't see the
energy.
scars on my
Yeah.
face because they love the character. But I saw what I look like and I really wanted to look good. And being a dancer
Mhm.
and being on stage, you always
Yeah.
want to be the best. I got sucker punched in the stomach when I look back now, 6 months ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was looking like that. I looked
Yeah.
horrid. the stress, you could see it. I looked like a
Just
sickly
under
patient.
pressure. Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
so then not being able to move and go to gym and just to be in that good
Hmm.
shape and healthy
Right.
state,
Yeah.
it
Feeling
does.
sexy and just, being that person that you've always been. I mean, we're young. Like we want
Yeah,
to, I mean, we want to be young and flaunt it still, right? And
it's
it's true. And then so
it frustrated me. I mean, I was
yeah.
mad. I'm so mad that I can't even just run. I
uh,
can't even just like hobble down the stairs quick. I mean,
so that's
like
real.
I walk so slow that when I'm
Yeah.
out in public, people are just passing me by, and I'm like, what should take me 15 minutes to go to the shops to get oat milk takes me
Yeah.
45 minutes.
So there's no real like going in and out of shops and stuff like you used to, like going clothes shopping and kind of just doing that sort of a fun afternoon. It takes,
Yeah, it takes time. It's got to be
yeah.
planned. It's got to be an event. I mean, I've so much has been taken away from.
So where do you get your strength from? Like, I mean, I know that for me, like I have faith, and this is kind of a part of it too, is being LGBTQ. And like for the longest time, like being gay and not wanting to be gay because I thought that, oh, if I'm gay, I'm not going to have a relationship with God. Right. And
Yeah,
you know how that is. A lot of the church does, we are church hurt. And there's a lot of churches that do shun on that and family members. And like I've only recently been comfortable and know that, in my faith that I love God and he loves me back. Do
yeah,
you have that, or where does your strength
yeah.
base come from?
So well, we're Anglican. My family's Anglican. So, I mean, we went to church every Sunday.
Yeah,
Even if I was out disco dancing at night, it's like
sure. Yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I got to get home. I got church in two
Show up
hours.
at church all hungover and still reeking like alcohol. Oh, I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would carry the sacraments to the altar. So I'd be like, I was best friends with
Hilarious.
the priest's son. So
Oh.
yeah, at all our church fates, we were in charge of the bar. But no, so I mean,
Where do you
religious
pull your
family.
strength? Yeah.
Yeah, and then like Olaf always says, like, we wake up every day. We thank God that we're here in Canada. We're so blessed. And he
Yeah.
says, and thank goodness for the strength that you have within you. Um, I mean, I'm blessed. We definitely have somebody there out there looking
There's
after me
angels, there's a
because
guardians, you got guardians for you, for
yeah,
sure.
100%. So like, I mean, we've got faith and
Yeah, I picked up
that,
on that. Like when you were saying, like it's weird how the timing happened, how like it could have happened earlier or a couple years before you guys even landed in Canada. And
yeah,
before you even started, could you imagine like you were in that position before leaving South
crazy,
Africa? Like it would have been a
crazy.
dumpster fire.
Yeah. So no, so we light our candles, we light our incense, we say a little prayer,
Yeah.
just to be so grateful and
And
appreciative
mindful. Yeah.
of the strength that's been given to me and for the way that's like things were lined up for me because
Yeah.
it could have been a very different situation. So yeah, so no, we're very, very grateful. Where the strength comes from within, who knows? It
Hmm.
comes from divine power because
Absolutely. Yeah.
but it's also something I was born with. And my father always said that's one thing I've admired about you, Brad, is like you've always been that guy, always so happy. And like even if we like had no money and we had 500 Rand to feed the
Hmm.
family for a week, you know.
Real. That's real.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
mean, I was living my best life eating that bully beef out of a tin. Like, so, it was okay. I mean, happy go lucky, but I mean, it's just something that I've been very blessed with within me, and it's something that I've gone through my life sharing with everyone.
Hmm.
So that's why like I've always been this like hype man for positivity and energy and all of that. But when I was going through when I pulled myself off social media and who was hyping
Going through
me
the
up?
dark. I know.
Yeah, like there
Yeah.
was no one hyping
No.
me up. I had to be my own hype man, hype energy, but you know what? It's just something that's there, that's deep inside of me, and I think it's never going to go away. And I'm so fortunate, and that's why I'm like, well, let me help other people.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. And that's why I wanted to talk to you. I think that you've got such an amazing story. You've got such an inner strength about you that like even you don't even know where it comes from. So I think, you know, a consolation prize is that, we go through a lot of the shit that we do in life because we have a story to tell. And
Yeah,
because we've come out on the other end, we have that degree of life is what I keep saying is that we are able to actually have the talk and say, hey, you know what? It really is. It's about being positive. It's about looking forward and it's about pulling your inner strength and getting through it. And a lot of time people just don't like there's that saying, you can't see the forest through the trees. When you're in the middle of the storm, it seems so much worse. And we need people like you. And
very much so. I mean, because we're so wrapped up in our own lives, and like we
Yeah,
take everything for granted. I mean,
everything. Yeah.
everything. Like
And
it's
like you can be stripped away from everything so fast. And
yeah,
you're an example of it. And it's just a matter of, perspective, I guess. Hey.
yeah, of course, of course. And
Yeah.
I admire you and your strength. I listen to your podcast and your journeys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it was weird. I was a little nervous about it too. And I was like, I just felt prompted by it. And, um, you know, m- my story isn't unique. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have it, but the amount of times that I've gone through all the garbage that I did and a lot of self-destructing that I did, and
yeah,
to be where I am right now and have conversations with people like you is probably why I had to go through all of that. Because if I was as cocky and as level-headed as I thought I was when I was in my 20s and my 30s, I would be like, I'd be like up here rather than trying to be, real and have conversations with awesome people like yourself, Brad. I really
no,
appreciate you.
no,
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
There's a lot of your story I didn't know. That is amazing.
Heck, I mean,
Yeah,
I've got so many
I
stories.
know.
I mean, that's why people find me quite entertaining because, I've always got some story to tell.
Yeah.
Moving home 36 times, I've met a lot of people.
Yeah.
I just told everyone I was running from the government, but yeah, so the one thing that I take away from this is like, I won't just take it lying down. I mean, the, the part of my healing journey is because I decided to get up and just like do it. Like I'm spending a lot of money on my therapies. I'm blessed that I've got a salary that pays me that I
Yeah.
can go do therapy, but everything else that I'm doing free sound meditation workshops. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Um, I'm keeping myself busy
Mhm.
and I'm fighting. And that's the biggest way is, not just a positive attitude, which is half the job. It's just,
Okay.
continuing to not let it stop you. Like I'm not going to be that Brad that I was. I don't think I'll ever be able to be that Brad. I mean, sure, I'm going to be dancing and
Better.
maybe doing splits again,
Yeah.
but there's so many other things I could do that that keep me active. And I'm not that high energy, but I mean, I'm learning to slow down. I'm learning the holistic ways and how meditation is so good. But yeah, I mean, New Year's resolution, I came across Arts Club Vancouver, and then I saw an ad for a community creates program. So it's a movement course in
Wow.
physical theater. So yeah, I've enrolled myself in that, and once a week I do that. And so it's just those goals to be that creative guy again, to be on stage. Not I don't even know if I want to make it a career choice.
No, but who
Well, you never know.
knows? You never know.
You never know. But just the whole part of my healing journey is just to keep going and not be limited and
Yeah.
restricted
I think that's
the
key
way
is
I
keep
want to live.
going, isn't it? Keep moving.
Yeah,
Motion is lotion.
exactly.
Okay, so random question out of everything, just to kind of end it off here. If you were given a pill to be straight, would you have taken it or would you still take it?
No,
Awesome.
the the love that I see that the community has, and just like, I even feel for like my father's generation and stuff, because what the times of today, it's so incredible to be gay and to be loud and proud. I mean, there's so much good happening. It's a community that loves you. There's such support. I mean, it's gone crazy now.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, really has. So, the things that I have experienced over the past 39 years I've been alive, I mean, even more so the past 10 years, I never would have experienced any of this adventure and awesomeness. I mean, if I wasn't, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from it,
No.
but I wouldn't change anything.
Awesome. All right. Well, I guess I'll leave it there. Brad, I love you. Thank you. Right back at you.
Love you, Gary. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, ciao, ciao.
Okay.